Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Strong and Steady. I am Jen. Let's get started with our warm-ups. So I'm seated on my chair, on my sit bones. I'm going to extend my arms out from my side, relax through the neck and tops of shoulders, and start moving my arms in small circles. Working through my breath, inhaling through my nose, exhaling out my mouth. Feeling the breath enter my chest as I inhale and leave my body as I'm contracting through my low belly. All right, now switch directions of your circles. Maybe feel them get a little bit broader, but keep your scapula, those shoulder blades, stable in your back. Good. Now let's do back strokes one at a time, staying still, going front to back, nice and slowly. Good. Now switch hands, or arms as it were. Excellent. All right, now we'll rise to standing and we'll work on our hinges. So hands on your hips, elbows slightly to the back so you can feel that tension in your lats, and begin with your first hinge. Maybe not your first hinge of the morning, but your first hinge here with me. So your fanny goes to the back wall. As you melt belly button through sternum toward the ground, your back stays in a nice neutral position, just the same as it were if you were standing up with good posture. We hinge down. Good. And we do enough of these so that we start feeling good blood flow in the back of our legs. Good. Maybe one more. And then we'll let that lead into our body weight squat. So lace your arms out in front, elbows parallel to your armpits. Hinge slightly and then allow your fanny to drop toward the ground, maintaining that neutral low back. Little bit of tension in your inner thighs, keeping your knees nice and stable. Excellent. I'm excited about today's workout. We are doing 6-minute EMOMs. Okay, so if you recall, EMOM is an acronym for every minute on the minute. And what we're going to do is 18 repetitions in each minute. So for 6 minutes, 18 reps, whenever you get done with the 18 repetitions in that minute, you get to use as a rest. So that 18 repetitions is not going to be the same movement. We're going to do 3 different movements in that minute. So for the first circuit, we're going to start with dumbbell squats. So dumbbells on the sides, and then we'll perform 6 squats. And then we'll move right into around the world bicep curls. So we curl, add an external rotation as the elbows stay glued to the ribs, curl and out. And the third movement is a bent over reverse fly. Okay, so those 18 repetitions, we're gonna do mindfully and with good form, but they are ideally quick transitions. We're not gonna be moving around a lot for this first set. We're gonna have the same set of dumbbells that we work with throughout. If you think you might need to upgrade or downgrade your dumbbell weight, just have them handy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the one set of dumbbells I want to use for these 6 minutes, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna get my timer set. All right, so remember, dumbbell squats, we'll do 6. Around the world bicep curls, we'll do 6. And then we'll do 6 bent over reverse flies. Finish off that minute and go 5 more times, just as we did that first minute. Okay, all right, ready? Get your dumbbells ready, dumbbell squat, steady, and let's go. Okay, and we're squatting and raising. 2, 3, and you may find that you cannot go as deeply in the beginning as you do later on. Okay, round the world bicep curls. 2, keep the elbows pinned to the ribs. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, hinge forward, bent over reverse flies. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Now, ideally, how this works now, we have about 10 minutes of rest. This is perfect. All right. So we're getting resettled in our stance. Maybe roll your shoulders back a little bit. All right. Ready, steady, and go. Squat and raise. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Around the world bicep curls, palms up. 1, 2, 3. And I'm focusing on how I'm carrying my body weight in my feet. And 6. Okay, bent over, rounded arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, dumbbell squats. All right, so when we do squats, our body weight, we want a little bit more in our heels. As we do the round the world bicep curls, mid-foot, and same with reverse flies. Ready? Squat, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Palms up, curl, external rotation. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent. Bent over, rounded arms, and 1, 2 reverse flies. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. So throughout, you want to think about having your lats drawing down nicely, okay? So we have a neutral spine and not rounded. Ready? Halfway done. Let's squat. 1, 2, 3. Keep your weight in your heels. 5, and 6. Okay, rotate palms up, curl, and external. 2, 3. You hear me using that low breath when I'm thinking, stabilize my torso. And 6. Good. Bent over, rounded arms, reverse fly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And hinge to upright. 2 more rounds. All right. Are you feeling your heart rate gradually increasing? If so, that's a good thing. All right. Dumbbell squats. Inhale. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Focus on that low belly. Focus on that pelvic floor lifting and the transverse wrapping. Okay. Curl. External rotation. 2. This is great. It's a combo movement implied. We get a bicep curl and an external rotation using those deep lateral muscles, lateral rotator muscles in your shoulder. All right, bent over, reverse fly, and 2. Drawing from the back. 4, 5, and 6. Hinge to upright. We're on our last round. Now your hands and your forearms are the silent workers here as you're grasping those dumbbells. All right, 1 more minute of work here. Ready? And squat. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Protect that low back. And 6. Curl. External rotation. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, hinge forward. And 1, reverse fly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent work. All right, round 1 is down. Set those dumbbells down. Shake out your fingers. They were gripping for a really long time. Find a drink of water if you need to. All right, now we're going to do some shoulder work here. So for those of you who may have compromised shoulders, be mindful of the modifications that you're going to choose to use here. Okay, so we're going to start with power skips. Okay, so power skips are contralateral, right? And we can stay on the ground here and reach, or we can hop in between to drive a little bit more energy. Okay, now if it doesn't feel good to you to reach up overhead, you can reach out to the front. Oops, except for contra. All right, if you can reach out to the front and be better, that is a great modification to use as well. Okay, now you don't need to have dumbbells. If you want to add a little weight, feel free to grab a water bottle in each hand. That would be a nice modification to make in lieu of having a 1-pound dumbbell in your house. All right, or a can of tomatoes. That would also work well. Okay, so we're gonna start with power skips. And then we have bent over front back punches. So we're in our nice bent over position and we're working here, okay? So we get to work on those deltoids in a nice range of motion that isn't overhead, front to back, okay? And the third movement is upright rows. Okay, so upper traps. Nice work as elbows float to the ceiling, okay? So now we're gonna try and stay with me here. For power skips, I'm gonna count pairs. So 1, 2. So each time the right knee rises, that's 1. I'm not gonna count each knee rising as 1, okay? So I think we're gonna have enough time for that. You determine whether you wanna be hop skipping with me or whether you wanna keep your feet on the ground and whether you're reaching out top or reaching out front, okay? All right, power skips, front back punch and upright rows. All right, you ready? Steady, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent. Okay, reach for those dumbbells. Front back punches. Okay, bent over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And upright rows. So position those dumbbells, grasp them by the ears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent. Okay, dumbbells down. 3, 2, and 1. Power skip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, dumbbells. All right, so you do all that hopping around and then we got to settle down for our front back punches. 1, 2, isometric hold as the arms go parallel to the ground. And 6. All right, standing upright now. Legs comfortably distanced, grabbing the dumbbells by the ears. Exhale and pull the elbows to the ceiling. Belly button to spine, rib cage closes. 4, 5, and 6. Good. Okay, this one we're running a little bit closer on time. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Dumbbells, front back punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, rotate the dumbbells by the ears. Exhale. 2. Upper traps pulling, not the hands. 4, 5, and 6. Dumbbells down. Oopsie. Okay, ready? Inhale through the chest. Exhale, let's go. 1, 2, 3. So here's out front. 4, 5, and 6. Good. Front back punches. All right. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And upright row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Okay, we got 2 more minutes of this round. Couple of breaths here, not too many. 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe it's on the ground. And 6. Okay. Now, when you're on the ground, that's a really nice one for you to work, as I'm doing my front back punches now, on your balance. 4, 5, and 6. All right, upright rows. How are you guys doing? Are you getting through 6 reps? 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, excellent. Last round coming up. All right, so now I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stay on the ground and I'm gonna focus on how good is my balance today. Ready, steady. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. Getting that knee up. 5, and 6. Good. Nice work. Okay, dumbbells again for this last round of front, back, punches. 4, 5, and 6. All right, turn and face me, dumbbells hanging down. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Keep the belly button in. Zip the rib cage closed. And 6. Excellent. Okay, round 2 is done. On to round 3. This is our last element that we're going to do standing. Okay, so let me get the timer set and we'll talk about what we have next. Bent over tricep kickbacks. You know this one. Nice bent over position, elbows locked to the ribs, kicking back, using a strong isometric hold as those arms run parallel to the ground. Squeeze those triceps. Okay, then we'll hinge up and do some front raises. Now we have 6 sets, so that means, yes, we can alternate whether our palms are facing or palms are down. Okay, so I'll cue you through that. All right, and then we're gonna do skaters. So let's make sure that we have our workspace set up for that. All right, so I've cleared away some of my heavy dumbbells that I haven't used yet. Make sure you have space for your skaters. Now, if you want the extra work with the skaters, you can add lighter dumbbells or maybe those cans of tomatoes if you have them as your arms are out. You can hold up that extra weight. It's an option, not a requirement. Okay, all right, so bent over tricep kickbacks, front raises, and then skaters. Okay, you ready? Got your dumbbells set? All right. And let's go. Bent over tricep kickbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hinge to upright, front raises. 1. Keep your shoulders as relaxed as you can. Work through this slowly. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm gonna try it with my dumbbells. I might hate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ooh, yes, I do hate it. I think I'll drop them next time because these dumbbells are too heavy for that. All right. So let's hinge. Tricep kickbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Front raises. Let's go palms down now. If you did palms facing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arms are floating. And 6. I'm setting my dumbbells down for my skaters. Okay, reaching. 3, 4, 5, 6. Did we do 2? 1, 2. Or did I just go slower? 4, 5, and 6. I think we did 12 skaters last time. That's brilliant. Okay, I'm reaching for my dumbbells again for my tricep kickbacks. So we're staying with that. We're gonna do, all right, tricep kickbacks, exhale. We're gonna do 12 full skaters. And you stay with me if you can. 5 and 6. Front raises, palms facing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Dumbbells down. Let's skater. Work on that footwork. Step to the middle, then step behind. 4, 5, and 6. Use those glutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent. Grasp those dumbbells. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bent over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, front raises, palms down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Control it. 5. Nice and slow. And 6. All right, dumbbells down, skaters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left. 2 more rounds are coming. All right. I'm sure you feel your heart rate growing again. That's good. Okay, let's get bent over. Tricep kickbacks, elbows to ribs. 1, 2. With control. 6 is the perfect amount of repetitions for you to focus on both the concentric and eccentric portions. Palms down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, skaters. 1, 2. Nice and wide. Get those glutes working. Work laterally. 5 and 6. Good. And we're on our last round here, folks. And then we'll get down to the ground after our water break, okay? You're doing okay? All right, stay with it. Let's hinge, lock the elbows, and extend. Tricep kickbacks. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hinge to upright, palms facing. Exhale, front raise. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent. Keep drawing that belly button in. And let's skate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, excellent. Okay, now we're moving on to our last round of work. Okay, I'm searching for my water bottle. Grab a quick drink. And our last round are these exercises that are great to do on the ground. So they include chest fly and glute bridge and dumbbell pull throughs. So chest fly for our chest, okay? Glute bridge, obviously for our glutes and hamstrings. And we are gonna add dumbbells in these as we're able, particularly in the weighted glute bridge. And our last element is the dumbbell pull through, which focuses on our lat work, okay? And it kind of gets us in this mindset of being ready for our Pilates work. Okay, so find your way onto the ground, okay? And then knees are up to the ceiling, feet are on the ground. Have the dumbbells close because our first work is a chest fly laying on our back, okay? So you'll need both dumbbells. So chest fly, arms are opening and they're rounded. And your elbows may reach the ground. As you open up, your back shouldn't arch, okay? So tight low belly, zip the ribs as the arms open up. You want to preserve your natural spacing in your low back, that natural curvature, but you don't want to press the low back into the ground and you don't want an excessive arch. So you shouldn't feel your shoulder blades drive into the ground and you shouldn't feel your back arching, okay? So that's chest fly. Then we'll move to a weighted chest glute bridge. And then staying with 1 or 2, if you like, pull throughs. We have the dumbbell either by the ears or one in each hand over your chest. And we let the hands drift down toward the ears, keeping a relationship with your lats though. Keep your lats loaded and we'll exhale and draw down and return. Okay, so you shouldn't feel your shoulders rise up. You shouldn't feel your shoulder blades slide up your back. Keep it nice and steady. Keep your lats loaded. All right, starting with the chest fly. Get it onto your belly. Make sure your knees and legs are in parallel. Ready, steady, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and pull from the chest. 5, and 6. Okay, dumbbells down, just 1 on your hip pointers, and exhale, drive heels through the ground. 2, squeeze the glutes as you reach the top of your bridge. 4, 5, and 6. Good. Okay, grasp that dumbbell, 2 hands over your chest, lengthen through the lats, and then exhale, contract to drop back to the belly. 2. Be very focused. 3, 4. You want to feel like you're pulling from the armpits. 5, and 6. Okay, we have no break time. So chest fly back over and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Glute bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab that same dumbbell over your chest. 1, 2. Exhale, 3 as it drives down to your hips. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that was a little better. Sorry, we got to kind of speed through that. All right, chest fly. Not quite at the tempo that we're used to for our Pilates. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Set one to the side, the other on your hips. Let's bridge it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hips down, dumbbell over the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you hear me exhaling as the arms drift back? So I'm thinking heavy low belly through that when I hear that deep exhale. Okay, I'm back to my 2. Press them overhead and fly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good, set one down onto the hips. And 1, 2, 3, bridging. 5 and 6. Now back to the dumbbell pull-throughs. 1. Now I'm grabbing it by the ears instead of grabbing like a column. 3, 4, 5. Pull those arms down to your hips by contracting through the lats. Okay, 2 more rounds. Chest fly, glute bridge, pull throughs. Ready? And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Set one down. 1 on the hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Push it up over the chest. Draw it back. And 1. Pull through. And 2. You may not find that you can get your biceps to your ears, and that's okay. Just keep that tension in your lats. That's what's important. And then draw down, armpit to hip to return. Good, I got 6. Now we're on to our last round, okay? Dumbbells ready. Press it up over your chest, rounded, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Set one off to the side, drop it to your hips, and bridge. 2, 3, drive those heels. 5, and 6. Okay, press it up over your chest. And you could start with a contraction towards your hips. And then lengthen and contract. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent work. Okay, that's our timer. All right, now you can roll yourself over, reach for your water bottle, grab a quick drink before we move on to our Pilates work. Okay. All right, so I cleared a space here to make sure that I feel safe and I'm not going to run into anything. But I am going to lower myself back down to the ground into the stargazer pose, as I like to call it. Now, you can do it a couple of different ways. So if I'm seated right now with my feet down, knees are up. Ideally, when we're thinking Pilates and mindful core, we would be lowering our spine toward the ground with control. Everything is with control, okay? And so the dominant muscle group that would control here is, of course, our belly, our low belly, rib cage, and rectus abdominis would control us going down with articulation to the mat. So that means we'd want to lower one vertebrae at a time down. So let's say our legs are extended and we lower ourselves down one vertebrae at a time. And that's great. But let's say I can't do that, Jen. I don't have the strength, or my back is too tight. How do I get there? Well, a nice way to get there is to use your legs to support, okay? So right now then, I have bent knees. So my knees are up and I can place my hands behind my knee pits, as it were, okay? And so if I'm seated in a nice neutral posture, I'm seated nice and tall here. And to go down one vertebrae at a time, the first thing I want to do is round my spine, okay? So I'm up, I'm going to take air into my chest, and I'm going to exhale as I start rounding my spine, all right? So now, as I've rounded through my lumbar, it's now closer to the ground than it was. I'm keeping my hands in the back of my legs, and I'm going to work my way down, holding onto my legs as I lower, 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 okay? Now, as I'm doing that, I have tension in my chest, in my lats, obliques, and my arms to help support and slow myself down, okay? As I'm lowering, I'm using my legs to try and support, okay? So that means the muscles in my legs are active, okay? I'm not pulling them to my chest. My inner thighs are active to help support that framework. So resisting against the pull that I'm providing so I can lower myself down really slowly and try and work on lowering one vertebrae at a time, okay? So that's something that you might want to play with in your off times, all right? But now I'm all the way to the ground, okay? And I have my knees up and feet down into the mat. I'm going to place my palms into the mat. And I'm going to start just reconnecting with my breath, okay? The breath is one of the most important things that we begin with in Pilates. Our breath drives our movement. Our breath drives our core activation, okay? So how we breathe is important. So as I'm laying here and I'm finding my imprint or my footprint, as it were, into the mat, I'm relaxing, taking just a moment, okay? And my head is heavy, my neck is relaxed, my tops of shoulders are relaxed. I'm gonna soften through my chest, which is kind of a hard one. A lot of times we pull forward a little bit, but we wanna be soft. And then feel our lats wide and down onto the mat, okay? And then our elbows are right there, palms are right there. We wanna make sure that we're preserving our natural curvatures in our spine. Everyone's is slightly different. If you need support in your neck because you can't lay here comfortably, make sure that you have a little rolled up towel to provide that. We definitely don't want you laying in pain. All right, and then our knees are parallel, okay? They're not collapsed and they're not hanging out wide. They're parallel, so the headlights on your knees and your hips and your shoulders are pointed straight up to the ceiling. All right, and then we're taking a breath in through our nose, into our chest. Nice and long, and then we're exhaling through the mouth and out the belly. And as we do so, exhale. We're thinking pelvic floor lifting, transverse deepening and wrapping, and then rib cage closing. All with one breath every time, right? So implicit in there is that, okay, I've strengthened, I've stabilized my core in such a way that I'm stabilizing my spine as though I'm standing upright. So I'm not pressing my low back into the mat. I'm drawing in my low belly, my transverse abdominis to support my spine like I would if I were standing up. Good. And on my next breath, I'm going to exhale and drag my right knee up into a chair position and hold it there as I draw in another breath into my chest. And then I'm going to exhale as I lengthen through my oblique and the foot just floats back down to the ground. Exhale as I raise the right leg, and then exhale as I lower the right leg. So throughout, I'm moving on my exhale, and I'm using my left hand to palpate to my belly because I want to make sure that my low belly is deepening and not poofing and hardening. We want it deepening toward our spine and not poofing out. So no magic shell. Remember the ice cream cone cover magic shell? You don't want a magic shell. Wow, I just came up with that one. We want deeply wrapping. And keeping that leg a dead weight for your abs. As you raise, inhale here if you need to, and exhale as you lower. Good, let's switch to the left leg. Exhale, pelvic floor, transverse rib cage, and again as you lower. So here we're warming up our work in our mind and in our body. Every time we want to think pelvic floor, transverse rib cage on the exhale, initiating before you move, and then nice long exhales so you have that breath to finish your work. One more with that dead left leg. Good. Okay, now we're going to raise it up into chair and we're going to do a single leg stretch. So that's what we call it when we extend that leg out through the male slot. Okay, so further away from your center of gravity. All right, so inhale into the chest. Exhale, float the dead leg up into chair. That's that nice right angle. And then inhale into the chest. And then exhale as you extend out to the male slot. Exhale as you return. And imagine that it's being controlled by your obliques. So maybe you have a little bit more energy into that right palm if that right leg is extending. And if you're feeling good and feeling warm, maybe that male slot drops a little lower. So that leg descends a couple of inches. So that's going to make it harder. So pay attention what happens to your low back. Keep it neutral. Deepen your strength. Deepen the wrap on your transverse into your low belly and rib cage. Good. Excellent. Floating the right leg down. And let's move to the left leg. Now, realistically, I know that you're probably feeling something in your crease in that hip flexor. We don't want to think about it. We want to think about driving that movement from your obliques and not from your hip flexors. Okay, left leg is up. Now I'm going to exhale and extend through the male slot. Now don't excessively point the toe. Keep that quad muscle as dead as you can. So it just becomes a dead weight for your abs. Exhale, hold and return. Hold and return. Good, lower that leg with control. Okay, so now we're back to stable pelvis and shoulders on the mat. Knees are up. Let's go ahead and extend our legs. So now our legs are flat out onto the mat. Place your palms down. So now we're gonna do one leg at a time raises, okay? So we're focused heavily here. Low belly is warm, right? It should be warm at this point. And we're going to focus on, so if you're watching me, I'm just raising the leg up and back down, but more of the weight is away from my center of gravity, away from my belly button, okay? So if you're already here and you feel your back arching, sink into a neutral, okay? So you want your lats wide and down, heavy onto the mat. You don't want to press your low back into the mat. You want to find a position where you can maintain your neutral. If you feel your back popping up with the legs extended, go ahead and allow a gentle bend. So not all the way up as we were before, just extend it out a little bit because we want that pelvis to be in a neutral position, okay? And now we're gonna do our best to exhale and raise one leg at a time up and down. So a bit more, you know, the next progression of this work. All right, ready? Inhale into the chest and exhale. Draw on that right oblique to float the leg up. And then exhale, draw it back down. Using your exhale for every bit of work. This is much more challenging and read into that much more risky for your low back if not done properly. Exhale, low belly sinking. So this might be even harder for you as well to think, am I using my quads to raise my leg? So keep that foot as limp as you can. And oblique energy. So right lat to oblique, right palm should be down. If you're palpating your belly to make sure it's descending, palpate with your left hand, not your right. Okay, good work. Let's switch to the left leg. Okay, so shake those legs out a little bit. Remember, we want the leg to be a dead weight. We're drawing that dead weight of the leg up using our abs, okay? Stabilize with the pelvic floor transverse rib cage and then pulling from the energy of your left lat to oblique. Inhale and exhale. Good, pausing for a moment at the top, grabbing your breath there, and then exhale as the leg goes down with the belly deepening. Working with control. Let's try one more. Good work. Okay. So now I hope you feel like your low belly is really warmed up, like it's ready to work. So now let's roll over onto our right side. Okay, so remember, as we're laying on our side, we now have 2 points of contact and stability with the ground, our shoulder and one hip, and I'm on my right side. So I'm gonna cue this way, all right? Now, we don't want to have our shoulders out of alignment. We want everything in parallel. So if you need to, tuck that shoulder under and then you can extend your arm out. You can curve it into a pillow, or now might be a good time to use that actual pillow or towel that you have there to support your neck, because we always want to maintain that cervical neutral. So we don't want the head to be here drifting down because we aren't in a cervical neutral here. You could use the muscles of your neck to do that, or if that doesn't feel good for your neck to do that the whole time, give it some support, and that's totally fine. Okay, so now we're gonna work on lateral muscles, but maintaining parallel, okay? So parallel is our shoulders and hips. Now they're pointed up toward the ceiling, so hopefully this is okay with your hips. It's not painful for you to be in this position. And now we're gonna work our lateral muscles, so our obliques and our glutes, okay? So if you want to find your parallel and you're comfortable here, I like to extend my arms straight up to the ceiling and I gaze over and I feel like, okay, I'm reaching up. So that if you were to walk in on me on the floor right now, you'd be like, what is Jen doing with her arm up in the sky? That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to maintain my parallel. And as I do so, I'm actually going to squeeze through that top lat. Okay. So it's not going to be hanging out there. It's going to be stabilized with my lat, creating tension. Okay. Now I'm going to work through my breath, my normal breath work, inhaling into my chest and exhaling into my body. Set up. And as I initiate my exhale, I'm going to float my leg straight up, contracting through my oblique and back down. Oblique and glutes, maintaining this parallel. So I'm reaching over. It's my left leg floating, and I'm reaching over and palpating, drawing on that oblique. Yes. Exhale, contract, and return. And this work is relatively easy related to maintaining my parallel because I'm working in parallel. My shoulders and hips are not being challenged by my core, by the movement that I'm doing because I'm working straight up and down. Good. Exhale and return. But now I'm going to start working in opposition to my parallel. All right. So I'm going to exhale and float my leg up. And then I'm going to draw my heel to my butt and straighten and then pull my leg out front. Ooh, exhale, nice and slow. So heel to butt and then straighten and then exhale. Ooh, draw the toe up, that leg in a straight fashion, heel to butt, and then exhale. And only go so far there as your range of motion as your hamstrings will allow. But you don't want your pelvis to move. Okay, so as you exhale, contract, contract, low belly. Ooh. Good, let's try 2 more, heel to butt. Good, 1 more. Good, and return with control. Okay, now draw the knee toward the chest, stretch through that glute. You probably have a little burn in there, that's good. And if you like, as we're laying here on the side, now you can open up your torso. So a rotation, trying to bring that left shoulder blade down to the mat, if you can, and a big stretch. Good, okay, now we'll close. Now we're gonna roll on to the other hip, okay? So nice work in the glutes and obliques on the left. Now we're gonna balance ourselves out before the end here and work our right. So my body is in a neutral, my legs are extended. I'm in a neutral with my spine on my right side. So left side, left shoulder, left hip down. All right, shoulders in parallel. Support your neck as you need to maintain that neutral in your neck. Okay, you can extend your right fingertips to the sky. All right, inhale into the chest and exhale into your body setup, and then float the right leg up, contracting through oblique and right glute. Good, and as you remember, this is where we're working in parallel to our setup. So we shouldn't feel wibble wobbly. We should feel good. We're just getting a nice blood flow into our glute and our oblique, but we should be stable. Let's go 2 more. Breathe and contract. Good. Excellent. Okay, bring that leg down. Now we're gonna challenge our parallels, right? We're gonna float the leg up and draw the heel to the butt and straighten, and then draw that full leg straight out in front of us. Okay, you ready? Inhale into the chest and exhale, float the leg, and then heel to butt, stay in parallel, straighten and exhale as you draw it out in front and return, heel to butt, exhale into your body setup, into a deeper transverse wrap. Hips shouldn't be shifting. Only draw the toe forward as far as you can and keep your hip stacked. Good, just a couple more. If you're done already, that's fine. Good, I'm gonna try 2 more. Excellent. Good, return the leg to center and float it down with control. Okay, draw the knee to the chest. Extend that left arm out. Twist through the rib cage as you try and turn your right shoulder blade to the mat. Soften through the chest. All right, excellent. Okay, so now I'm back on my left side. I'm going to use my right hand to press myself up into a seated position. Thank you for joining me for our Strong and Steady / Mat Pilates session today, guys. I hope you're feeling strong and rewarded from today's workouts. Have an excellent day, and I will see you Thursday at 10. Bye.